Hey everybody, Dustin here from LaneESD, and today we're going to go over some of the different software that you can use for screencasting. And I'm only going to talk about 5 of them, really kind of more 4 different styles. There are many more out there, but these are all free, or at least free for now during the COVID crisis. So you can get up and running right away and get going and make something happen. So let's get started. First off, let's talk about Google Meet and Zoom. Now, you're probably more familiar with these as a way to have meetings with people virtually. On your screen, while you're having a meeting, you can use this as a way to record your lessons and then share it out or screencast with people. Now, again, you don't even have to have other people in the meeting. You can actually create a meeting all by yourself, just screencast or record your screen and share your screen so people can see what's going on, and then run through your meeting that way. It works really well. So the advantages are it's pretty easy. If you know how to use Google Meet or if you know how to use Zoom, then all you do is hit the record button and you're screencasting. So very, very low entry point for learning how to do it. One of the other things that's nice about Zoom is that they make an audio version as well. So when you finish up your meeting, it'll create MP3, which is a video file, and it'll also create an audio file for that. So you can share just the audio if people want a smaller file, or you can also share it with the video. Disadvantages are that the video quality is lower when you use those resources. They are trying to do video at a very low quality, so that's not as good. You have no editing ability. And while that's not a huge deal, sometimes you want to trim out the very beginning of the video, the very end, or even sometimes in the middle, like if you got a sore throat or something and you want to edit out those little whatever throat clearings, or sometimes you just make a mistake and you don't want to start all over again, and it makes it a little bit nicer to be able to edit. And then for Zoom, this isn't for Google Meet. Your files go right into Google Drive, and so it's really easy to integrate those with Classroom. But with Zoom, you're gonna have to download those files. Actually, they go right to your computer, and then you have to upload them back into Drive and then attach them to your Classroom. So a little bit more work, not too bad. Pretty easy all in all. So that's Google Meet and Google Meet and Zoom. Screencastify. Very popular software that's out there, very easy to use. It installs into Chrome, which is one of the disadvantages. You have to use the Chrome browser instead of, for example, Firefox or Safari or any of those other browsers that you might use. You have to use Chrome, which a lot of people do anyways. But the thing that's really nice about it is a product that works perfectly with all of the Google software material. So you make a video, it goes immediately into your Google Drive and has an ability right there and then to put it into your classroom. It's really, really easy to work with Google Classroom, which is super nice. Premium version is right now free, but it does cost money after this year. So they made it free for teachers during the COVID crisis. After which it's going to cost $29 per year per person. So it's not too bad. It's just a couple bucks, $2.50 a month, a little less than that. So it's pretty inexpensive, but you do have to pay for it once we go back to normal. Maybe you don't care because maybe you're just going to go ahead and use it only right now while we're doing remote learning. The other thing that's kind of nice is it allows you to mark up the screen. So it's got a little pen feature. And so you can kind of show or highlight some portion of the screen. Can be kind of handy. And then the video editor is okay in this one. So it allows you to go in and clip the beginning, clip the end, and actually cut things out of the middle. So again, if you're coughing or if you have your child run in the middle of the room when you are doing your little podcast, or your little screencast, you can cut out that section so that your students don't have to see it. Now they might want to see your cute kids, but maybe you don't want to show off. Yeah, so the editor is pretty good, and paid version is only $29. As I mentioned, disadvantages: it only works with Chrome browser, and the premium version is only good right now through the end of May. Although they may extend that as if the situation continues the way it currently is, it may need to go longer. And then the thing that's interesting, it doesn't allow you to present like I am right now in Google Slides and show your video or do any of those markups. Now, of course, Google does, so you can use some different things within Google Slides to allow you to show movement or say, hey, this is important, but otherwise it doesn't let you do much. Loom is another software very similar to Screencastify, a little bit lower power, doesn't have quite as much ability to do edits and things like that, but it is free. And they say they're going to make it free forever. Now they may change their mind, but for at least now, they say it's going to be free for teachers. So that's kind of nice. You can learn one platform and not have to relearn again something else next year if you want to keep using it. Another thing I like is that it allows you to reduce the quality or increase the quality right from the record screen. In Screencastify, you have to kind of go into the settings to make that happen. It still allows you to do it, just a little bit harder. And it does have an editor built in, but I'll tell you that editor is pretty weak. You can trim off the beginning of it, you can cut off the end of it, but cutting out something in the middle, not easy to do. Really is quite a bit harder. It also does not connect directly to Google Drive, so you're going to have to get the video. It's going to download it, you get it to your computer, and then upload it back into Google Drive, and then connect it. So it's a few more steps that you have to go through to make that happen. And last but not least, at least the last one I'm going to talk about is you can use your iPad. So the iPad has a screen record feature, and you can use that to present just like you would anything else. You can use Google Slides or anything else. You can record right from there. And all the software is included. So it's right in there in your iPad. You do have to do a little bit of setup to make that screen recording feature easy to access, but otherwise it's pretty easy. It's free. Again, if you have an iPad, it's free. One of the best parts about it, there's two things that are really big for the iPad version. One is that if you have a stylus or you're really good with drawing with your finger, you can actually write on the screen. So you could, for example, do math problems and show your work as you're going through, kind of like a Khan Academy, if you've ever seen that before. You can do that on the computer, but you have to have a special, let's call it a Wacom tablet, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but there are special tablets you can buy, but again, they're like $100, or maybe they're cheaper now, but they're not cheap to do. But so you can do that, but on the iPad, if you have a stylus, then you can just do it right away, and that's kind of nice. The other one thing that's really nice is that you can record something with the camera on the iPad that is not on the computer. So you can show a demonstration of a lab. You can go outside and record some video of nature and say, hey, I want you to observe this or pay attention to this, whatever. So that's kind of handy. I use that a lot when I was a science teacher and I was making videos for labs and review for people who are absent. So that's pretty handy. The video quality is extremely good because it's embedded right onto the iPad. And yeah, that's about it. So disadvantages, it's a lot more steps to make a video. You have to go through quite a few steps. You have to go, if you want to do any edits, you have to go into iMovie and you can cut things. Now, iMovie is super powerful, so you can do a lot of cool things with it, transitions and all kinds of neat things, but it does take more time generally and doesn't connect directly to Google Drive, so you will have to upload it like many of the other software features. So what should you use? If you want the easiest thing possible, use Zoom or Google Meet, whichever one you're using for your meetings with students. Just use those, get used to it, and yeah, it's super easy. Not a lot of, you have to do one-shot deals where you can't do edits, but it's pretty easy. If you don't mind paying a little bit in the future, right now it's free, I do recommend Screencastify. It's probably the most powerful and has the most capabilities of all the editors out there. It will cost you a little bit of money in the future. So if that's something you don't like, well, go for Loom then. So if you want to learn one platform now and not have to pay again, I would go with Loom. Again, I guess, I could have a fourth category there and say if you want to be able to write on your screen, I would use the iPad, or I would get a tablet to write on. Yeah, those work great. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Give me an email, and I will happy to walk you through or answer any questions you have. Be looking for the next series of videos where I'm going to go through each one and show you how to do screencasting from each of those videos. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Be well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.